When you think of cookies, what type of cookies do you think of? Well, I think of homemade chocolate chip cookies. As a kid, my mother was always baking different cookies, cakes, and bars. My favorite is her all-time chocolate chip cookies, so I'm going to share the recipe with you and how to make them. First thing started, you're going to want to make sure your cooking space is clean of all objects except for what you're going to need. And then you're going to want to put on your apron. And if you have long hair like mine, you're going to want to put it in a ponytail. Wash your hands with antibacterial soap, which I already did. And I also already preset the oven to 375 so we can start preheating. For our supplies, we have a non-stick pan. We have all the ingredients we need for our recipe, which I will go over that. For this demonstration, I went ahead and pre-measured everything, so we won't be needing measuring cups or measuring spoons. We got a cookie scoop, a spatula, and a mixing spoon. Now we're going to get started. First, we are going to mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda into our 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. Just kind of get this mixed in good, and then we'll just leave it over here on the side for now. Now in this bowl, we're going to start with our 1 cup softened butter. And then we're going to add in 3/4 cup of sugar. Mix that a little bit here. Sometimes some people prefer to melt the butter a little more, so it's a little easier to stir in. We'll go ahead and add in 3/4 cup packed brown sugar. Mix this in a little bit. Now we're going to mix in 2 large eggs. Mix it in here a little bit. Kind of get a little creamier, easier to mix with those eggs in here. Get all the lumps out. That brown sugar lumps up quite a bit. Now we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Make sure this gets stirred in well. You don't have any lumps. Now we're going to add in our powder mixture over here. I usually add in maybe about a 1/2 or 1/3 stir at a time. Easier to mix in than if you add it all at the same time. And this is why you wear an apron. When you have this flour, it kind of flies out. It gets all over your clothes, or at least when I'm doing it. Add in a little more flour here. Flying powder. It's becoming more thick now, more like our cookie consistency, as before it was really creamy before we added the flour. Now it's getting a little tougher here to stir once it gets so thick. You just got to keep stirring it until you get all that flour worked in. It'll take a little bit. It's almost getting stirred in here. Now we're going to add in our chocolate chips, which is 2 cups of chocolate chips. Them stirred in real good. Chocolate chip, of course, are my favorite part. Make it nice and chocolatey. I use semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can use milk chocolate, whichever you prefer, whatever brand you prefer too. Some people prefer different brands. We got it stirred in here real good. Now we're going to scrape off the extra on our spoon. Let me get it here in a ball. Now we're going to use our cookie scoop. I like to use this cookie scoop because it makes the cookies nice and round, and then that way they're all the same size. On our non-stick pan here, we're gonna put our cookies. Depending on what size of pan and how big your scoop is, depends on how many cookies you want to put on a sheet. On this kind, I like to do 2 across and 3 down. That way they spread out and then they don't get stuck together either. And they're done. Okay, now that our cookies are on there, our oven was preheated 375. We're going to go ahead and place them in the oven. We'll go ahead and set the timer for 9 minutes, where we will check them. It recommends cooking between 9 and 11 minutes or until golden brown. Some people have different preferences. Some people like them more gooey than others. Some people like them cooked more. We'll go ahead and check them. And here's what your finished product will be. You want to leave them on the cookie sheet to cool for 2 minutes, and then you can remove them and enjoy them. And right here is what all your finished products will look like. Once you're done enjoying them with your family, go ahead and put them in a closed container to keep them nice and fresh so you can enjoy them until they are all gone. Thank you.